Com. Brought to you by your friends at the regional radio stations.
Your friend in Central Illinois. WHOW.
Top of the morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest on the phone this morning is Joey Long, director of the DeWitt County Museum and CH Moore Homestead. Joey, how are you?
And I hope the same is true with you and everyone listening.
For sure. Thanks for coming on and talking with us. Always good to have you on the program, Joey. And I'll tell you what, the museum is open and humming now, and we've got a full spring, summer, and fall of activities at the homestead. I don't know that we can cover everything in a single interview. You have that much going on, but let's try to get to it all today, Joey. What's coming up this new season at the museum?
Sure. So, as many listeners probably are aware, this is the year of America 250, an opportunity for us to celebrate this big milestone and 250 years since the Declaration of Independence was signed. And so, in honor of that, we are putting on a year-long series of special events. There will be at least one special event each month taking place at the museum under the banner of America 250 at the Homestead, celebrating 250 years of American history. And so it's just a nice opportunity to have all of these events, things that can be, it's such a variety, there's something for everyone. So everyone can come and, attend these events and have a good time. We just want to make this anniversary year meaningful for, our members, our community, and all of the visitors, from outside of DeWitt County who will be here attending the events. So we had, I must say, I was overwhelmed by the support that came in for this America 250. We had asked for individuals, groups, organizations, businesses, whatnot, to ask if they would consider sponsoring all of these events. And many of them stepped forward. So I would like to take this moment now, if that's all right with you, Seth.
Yes, please do.
To just list off all of these generous sponsors who are making this possible for the museum, and also, making it possible for so many to be able to celebrate America 250 with us.
Yeah, please do.
So we have Wagon Wheel Pumpkin Farm, Save a Lot, Lance Schmidt Auctions, Hammer Law, Calvert Funeral Home, DeWitt County Farm Bureau, Beta Sigma Phi, the George and Angela Williams family, Two Hills Seed and Beef, Helen Wilson, DeWitt Savings Bank, Clinton Auto Auction, Ken May of May Farms, Clinton Family Dental, Ann Belangi, Douglas Dodge, Floyd and Associates CPAs, Gail and Karen Goebel, Ted's Garage, Sug Enterprise, EMC Photography, Patrick Peterson of Three Ravens Graphics, an anonymous donor, Clinton Lake Vacation Rentals, the Ted and Ruth Lowers family, First State Bank and Trust, Philip and Ann Rybolt, Heartland Bank and Trust Company, Thomas and Dee Doherty, Pandemonium Studios, Steve and Nancy Stikowski, Moore and Warner Farm Real Estate, and Kirby Foods.
A lot of folks stepped up for that, Joey. What does their sponsorship go towards?
So the sponsorship will go towards the expenses of putting on these events. We have, for example, musicians to pay. There'll be, probably food. At this point, I'm not sure exactly how the committee is going to, allocate all this and whatnot. But the funds are definitely needed to be able to put on so many events throughout the year. And with this much support, I think we're probably going to be able to make it a little nicer than we had even hoped. So we greatly appreciate the generosity of these people. And if people are listening and you're friends with these people, or you stop at these people's store, or you just run into them, somewhere, and you heard them mentioned today, I would ask you, please, give them a shout out and, just thank them for supporting the museum and the 250th anniversary in this way. We're all very grateful to the museum, but I would like the community to also express their gratitude to these people if they have the opportunity.
Very good. Very good. Joey Long, director of the DeWitt County Museum, C.H. Moore Homestead, is our guest on the phone here for this morning. Well, Joey, let's, like we talked about, there's so many events going on. What is kind of the most immediate? Let's do a quick dive into it. What's going on?
Sure. So the first event that we will be having at the museum will take place on Sunday, April 26th from 3 to 5 p.m. It's called the Steinway Reawakened. And Mr. Moore's Steinway piano has been inoperable for decades, possibly a century or more. We don't really know for sure. And on that date, the piano will be brought back to life. Someone is working on restoring the piano and making it playable. And so we'll have an open house that afternoon. We invite everyone to come in. You enter at the front door. And while the piano is being played by a pianist, the board of directors will be serving punch and wine and hospitality cups. So I think that will be a very nice event, bringing that old piano to life. And then the next event, under the banner of America 250 at the Homestead, it will be a presentation by my friend Guy Fraker. The presentation is titled Lincoln and the Light of the Declaration of Independence. That's going to take place on Sunday, May 3rd at 1:30 p.m. in the carriage barn. So we will be welcoming him to share his insights regarding Abraham Lincoln's lifelong reverence for the Declaration of Independence and the men who penned it, and how that document helped guide Lincoln through some of our darkest times. So that is also, of course, a free event, and all are welcome to attend. And then the next event that we have is a book signing. Mm-hmm. The author of the book is Maureen. She has compiled a book, Images of America, DeWitt County. Mm-hmm. So I actually have they're not out yet, but I do happen to have a copy hot off the press in my hands. Maureen stopped by to gift me a book. And it's a really nice book filled with pages and pages and pages of images of DeWitt County. Many of those images actually came from the DeWitt County Museum's photograph collection, but I know that she spent a lot of time in Wapella, scanning pictures, Waynesville. She did not miss any of the communities here in DeWitt County. There's even a little bit about Weldon Springs. So Kinney, Hallsville, Waynesville, Wapella, Weldon Springs, Farmer City, and of course Clinton. So a great little book. And we'll be having her in for a book signing. That's going to take place in June. And we are actually currently at the museum taking pre-orders for the book, just to make sure that if someone wanted a book, they'd be able to get one, especially if they wanted to have a book on the day of her book signing and her presentation. Mm-hmm. So that event is taking place on Saturday, June 7th at 1:30 p.m. at the Carriage Barn. And of course, again, this is free and open to the public. And she's going to do a presentation talking about the different images, some of the stories behind that, the story of, getting the book put together, the information in the book. So I think that'll be very interesting. And those books are $24.99, so they're $26.80 with tax. And people can either stop by the museum and place their order. We do request payment, when the order is placed or the pre-order, or they can give us a call and we can put that on a credit card for them. And then we can let you know when the book arrives at the museum so you can come pick it up if you can't wait to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Or we can hold the book at the door for anyone that was wanting to have the book there for the actual book signing. So if anyone, from out of town is listening, that would be a very convenient way to get your book, but then have it waiting for you at the door when you come to that event.
Sure. Very good. Very good. A lot going on with that one as well, Joey. And I know you told me there's something going on every month at the museum. You mentioned June. Of course, the big one is July. That's when we celebrate America's 250th, obviously. What's going on in July, Joey?
Oh, July is going to be the month of the old-fashioned ice cream social. I'm very excited about this one. So we will have old-fashioned ice cream churned there on site. And of course, thanks to our generous sponsors, the ice cream will be free. And then we'll also have a banjo and fiddle musical duo. They're called Peaches and Bacon. And they'll be performing on the front lawn. And also on that afternoon, we'll be having horse-drawn carriage rides. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And then we skipped on to July, but we actually have more going on in June. Can I step back there a little bit?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Joey. Why don't we take a break and we'll go back to June? I apologize. I thought the only event was that book signing in June. So let's take a break and we'll hit June when we come back. Does that sound okay?
That'd be just fine.
Very good. How do folks follow along all things going on this summer at the museum, Joey?
The most up-to-date place would be our Facebook page, and you can find us under C.H. Moore Homestead and DeWitt County Museum. They can also visit the website. It's chmoorehomestead.org, or they can stop by the museum anytime or give us a call.
Very good. Joey Long, director of the DeWitt County Museum, C.H. Moore Homestead, my guest on the phone this morning. More to come with Joey on the WHOW Morning Show.
WHOW.
Here's Matt Hart, owner of the Hart Media Group in Clinton, talking about continuing to serve the community through new ownership.
Things came together and we reached an agreement to purchase. And as you mentioned, we closed August the 1st. So as August the 1st, Miller Media Group is now Hart Media Group. Mm-hmm. And we're continuing to serve the people of Clinton and DeWitt County and Monticello and Bloomington and Decatur and everywhere, because we'll just keep connecting people as we've been doing.
The Hart Media Group looks forward to continuing to serve the community for years to come.
A little boy falls into a grain auger at his family's farm, and in seconds, his arms have been severed at the shoulder. Doctors try to reattach the limbs, but without success. And that young boy's future has changed forever. Please, take time to review safety practices with your kids.
Today and every day in 2026, think and practice safety first.
This message is brought to you by the Macon County Farm Bureau, where membership means value.
Spring is in the air, so it's time to choose your new Silverado. This is Scott Baum from Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton and Farmer City. We have a good selection of new Silverados with springtime savings and special finance rates. Choose from regular cabs, double cabs, or crew cabs in gas or diesel. We're also allowing extra money for your trade on all new Silverados this month. Silverado, together let's drive. See all our inventory at BaumChevyBuick.com, right from the start.
Looking for a provider who puts your health first? SIU Family Medicine is accepting new patients. Call 217-735-2317 today to schedule your first appointment. That's 217-735-2317. SIU Medicine, forward for you.
DeWittDailyNews.com is the area's leading local news source 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Get the latest local news, obituaries, police blotter, weather forecast, and more with no paywall. Head to DeWittDailyNews.com to get the local information you need to know.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Once again, a good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Again, my guest on the phone, Joey Long, director of the DeWitt County Museum, CH Moore Homestead. Joey, I apologize. I missed a big event in June that you wanted to circle back to. What do you got going on?
That's all right. So in June, we always have our annual quilt show, but this year, as a part of America 250 at the Homestead, we're going to put a little patriotic twist to it. So the quilts that we will be accepting for loan for this quilt show, we ask that they all be red, white, and or blue, or have a patriotic theme or an Americana theme, thinking something like, like the Baltimore quilt patterns or, flag patterns or something as American as apple pie, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And we've already been able to gather up a few that were brought in by one of our board members the other day that someone had loaned to her. And just really neat examples of Americana quilts. So if you're interested in loaning a quilt to us for the month of June, we collect those up in May. So give me a call at the museum and I will fill you in on when we would need to have the quilt by and any other details, answer any questions. And as far as the quilts that we take as loans for the month of the quilt show, we take quilts of any type. So they can be, old quilts, antique quilts. They don't even have to be in perfect condition. We just ask that they be clean. We also are interested in vintage quilts or even brand new quilts. So just go to your closet, go to the attic, go to your sewing room, and bring those quilts into us. It's going to be a great show. And so I suppose that would be something that the ladies would enjoy. But we also have a June event that they are planning for the guys. So there's going to be an antique tractor and car show taking place sometime during the month of June as well. So they're working on getting that planned out. So
wow,
it's going to be a lot of fun.
A lot going on for sure. And again, it all kind of centers around America 250th once we kind of hit those summer months for sure. Very good. Did I miss anything, Joey, in June you want to put out there for us?
I think that's everything for June.
All right, very good. Did you want to add anything from July that I know we started talking July in the last segment. Did you want to add anything to that?
That's all that we have in July so far. But again, we may be able to add to this schedule considering, what a good response we had as far as sponsorship. So we'll just have to see what the committee decides to do there.
Mm-hmm.
And then August, September, October, November, December, we have, in August, we have an Illinois Humanities Rhodes Scholar coming in. September, we have, of course, the Apple and Pork Festival, but it will be themed around America 250 at the Homestead, so that should be exciting.
Mm-hmm.
In October, a good old-fashioned harvest season, Halloween-themed wiener roast and hay whack wagon rides, on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
November brings us Santa Night, and the first of 4 America 250 at the Homestead candlelight tours. And then the remainder of those candlelight tours will continue throughout the month of December, as well as we'll have, again, the horse-drawn carriage ride.
Yeah.
So a lot going on. Here in your own backyard.
I was going to ask Joey, are we leaning into America 250th after the summer months? Like, will Apple and Pork have an American 250 theme to it as well? What do you think there?
It certainly will. Yep, that's the plan. That is the plan. So we are going to be celebrating this year the entire year.
Okay. So if you don't mind if I ask, what does America 250th look like at Apple and Pork Festival?
I imagine that might look something like a lot of flags, a lot of banners and bunting. And I don't know what else they might have planned. I'm sure that Mr. Lincoln will have a lot to say about this 250 year, and maybe we'll be able to add other things as well. I'm just not sure what they have planned
We need to lean into the red apple theme of apple and pork, like, the red, white, and blue. We got to find something blue that associates with apple and pork. But we need to lean into the red apple of the Apple and Pork Festival this year, I feel like.
That's a neat idea.
Yeah.
I do know that the gift shop will be carrying some special merchandise just for this year, celebrating America 250 at the Homestead.
Okay.
And I have not seen what kinds of designs she has come up with, but I know that people are thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I'm going to be curious how you integrate America 250th into the candlelight tours. That's going to be interesting to watch come together.
Well, I think it will be too, because there are many avenues. I mean, of course, the first thing that probably comes to people's minds is, red, white, and blue. But there's so much more. We are celebrating 250 years of American history, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the beginning of that would go back to, our founding fathers and our first president. I envision, a room that would be all George Washington themed, maybe, a bust of George Washington, and then other things, related to that time. And there are a million possibilities. And I think it's a really unique opportunity for people to become very creative in decorating the rooms this year.
No question. Well, Joey, on that note, I look at the clock. We are unfortunately out of time for the day. You've got so much going on at the museum this year. You mentioned the generosity of the community to help the museum put on so many events. Where do folks go to keep up with everything? You mentioned there might even be more added to the calendar down the road. How do folks follow along with all of this, Joey?
Sure. So the most up-to-date information can be found on our Facebook page. And you can find us at C.H. Moore Homestead and DeWitt County Museum. They can go to our website, that is chmoorehomestead.org. They can give us a call at 217-935-6066, or they can stop by the museum anytime.
Joey Long, director of the DeWitt County Museum, and C.H. Moore Homestead, our guest on the phone. Network News is now.